Welcome to the Travel Squad podcast, where adventure meets inspiration. We're your hosts. I'm Brittany.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Jamal. Together we explore international destinations, hike epic national parks, and share unforgettable travel experiences with you, one passport stamp at a time.
Our mission is to inspire you to travel by showing you how you can make it work no matter your budget, schedule, or experience level.
We bring you along so that you can laugh, get excited, and start planning your own trip.
So grab your ticket and your passport.
And don't forget your travel insurance.
And get ready to embark on a new adventure with us around the globe.
Hey, Squaddies. Travel Squad Podcast is back with Just the Tip, our Friday mini-episode series where we give you quick travel stories, hacks, and recommendations to set you off into your weekend right. Today, you just have me, Kim. I'm going to be sharing what to do in Paris for a quick 8-hour visit. Yes, only 8 hours in Paris. Now, of course, you can't see it all, but I wanted to see Paris because I was already planning to do a few days in the south of France. Our friend Zeina, former squad member, was also going to be in Europe. We decided to meet in Paris. Now, if I can only see it for 8 hours, I'm going to take advantage of that. Yes, I, of course, want to go back and spend several days here and really enjoy and slow travel here more, but I'm going to try to see as much as I can in the 8 hours that I do have. After Paris, we were planning to go on to Nice to spend a few days there in the French Riviera, so that is why we could only stay for these 8 hours here. Some tips that I have after visiting Paris for this short amount of time is, yes, you can use the metro, but for us, this specific day, just having 8 hours, it was easier to use Uber and actually found it to be pretty affordable. It was about 20 euros for a 45-minute drive that we took. That was one of the longest Ubers that we took. And so thought, that's not that bad of a deal. Let's go ahead and do it and save time finding the metro and waiting for it and getting on and all of that. Traffic is pretty crazy in Paris, so plan for that. It can take a minute to get to the next place. So first stop on our Paris excursion here is the Basilica du, now I'm going to pronounce all of this wrong, Sacré-Cœur du Montmartre. I know I'm saying that wrong, but it is a very beautiful basilica here in Paris, and it is worth a visit. Now, you might not need to go spend a lot of time here, but it's definitely worth going in, walking up all of the beautiful stairs that lead you up to this gorgeous building. It is open. It is an active basilica, so you can go inside and check it out. It was constructed originally back in 1875 is when construction started. So it's a very old building, very historic building. It's beautiful when you get up there. You can also turn around and look out at the beautiful view of Paris from up there. And it's a very bustling area. When we went, it was a Saturday morning, probably about 11 a.m. Tons of people around. There's people selling stuff. There's different tours that they're trying to get you to go on. So you can spend as little or as much time as you'd like here. We just spent a few minutes, took in the sights, looked at the beautiful building, peeked inside, and then went on to our next stop.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Starbucks. Smooth, bright, deliciously crafted. Introducing Starbucks Sansera Blend, their smoothest, brightest coffee yet. It's a new kind of light roast, one that's packed with so much flavor, it shines no matter how you brew it. So go ahead and try it hot, iced, black, or with a splash of creamer. Visit athome.starbucks.com/Sansera-blend-coffee to bring Starbucks Sansera Blend home.
Next up on our list was the Jardin du Luxembourg. This is a gorgeous park that was created by Marie de Medici in 1612. It's an extremely old historic landmark in Paris. It was inspired by the Boboli Gardens in Florence. It's about 62 acres large. So I was getting Central Park vibes from New York when I was here. It is a place that you can sit on the beautiful benches, walk around the pathways, take in the fountains and the beautiful buildings. They have tennis courts here. They have greenhouses and orangery fruit trees. They have a bunch of different monuments here. It's really, really pretty. We stayed not that long, of course, maybe an hour, walked around and took some pictures and whatnot, took it in. I would love to come back here on a longer trip to Paris and maybe bring some sandwiches and eat them in the park and just relax for a little bit. It's a beautiful place to do that. It's that really historic building, but fun fact, it actually houses the French Senate now. It used to be a royal residence. Now it's for the French Senate. So it is a historic place. I would recommend you come here and plan to spend a bit of time. One thing that was really funny when we were here, Zeina was like, oh, I've been here before. I love this place. I always remember the beautiful big fountain. And I'm looking at this fountain, which is in the middle of the square. It's a very big water repository for the fountain, but the fountain itself is very small. So she was over here saying, it's such a big fountain. I'm like, that is a tiny fountain with a big pond. And we had a nice little laugh about that. So squatties, you tell us, is it a big fountain or a small fountain? Next, we walked on over to the Montparnasse Tower. This is a skyscraper, almost 700 feet tall. In different destinations, we like going up to these big skyscrapers and getting the big, beautiful views. And out of all the things we did in Paris, this is the one thing I recommend if you only have a very short amount of time. I loved it. You pay to go up to the top. They do have a restaurant or they do have an entry just to go up to the rooftop area. And the pricing's a little bit different. When we went, it was 36 euros for entry and a glass of French champagne. Or if you don't want the champagne, just 28 euros for the views. When you go in, there's like a cafe where you'll get the champagne, and indoors all around 360 glass windows. So you can take in the views there, but then you can go up a couple flights of stairs and be on the rooftop. I recommend going up there. The views are amazing. This was my first sighting of the Eiffel Tower out in the distance. So exciting. It was pretty cool. It was actually a pretty cold day when we were there in Paris, so it wasn't as enjoyable to be on the rooftop, but I kind of forgot about it when I was up here because it was so beautiful. They also have an I Love Paris sign that you can take pictures with. So definitely go here if you have the time. It is worth it to see the beautiful views of the city. Like, you can really see the design of the streets of the city, and it looks like an art piece from up here. It's really cool. Next up, I know I said Montparnasse Tower is the one thing I recommend you do, but of course you have to see the Eiffel Tower. All I wanted to do in Paris with this 8 hours, I didn't really care about anything else. All I wanted to do was have a picnic on the grass underneath the Eiffel Tower. Baguette, a little wine, some French cheese. Oh my gosh, I was romanticizing it in my head. But you can't really do that anymore. They have built a glass wall surrounding the park area of the Eiffel Tower. You cannot even go inside without paying. So you can't stand underneath the Eiffel Tower without paying. In fact, once you do pay to go beyond that glass wall, then the ticket is not just to get in there. It gets you into the Eiffel Tower to go up it. And there's different pricings for what parts you want to see of it. We didn't really even want to do that. So we did not pay to go in. But even if you were to pay to go in, you still cannot picnic there. The grass areas are all roped off. You can't even go in the grass areas. I have no idea why they did this. I think it's a somewhat recent change that they made. Of course, they're glass walls, so you still can see the Eiffel Tower from the outside, which is nice, but I think it totally just changes the romanticized, beautiful Eiffel Tower that it is. Like, I've seen for years pictures of people sitting on the grass underneath the Eiffel Tower and just loving their lives, and like, it wasn't like that at all. It was an overrun tourist trap. Now, on the perimeter of the glass wall and the sidewalks, you'll find people selling Eiffel Tower trinkets and Paris memorabilia. So it's very, very touristy here. I think that was a big mess up that they did in this area. And squatties, if you have any backstory on why they did this, or if you have a different opinion on how the wall makes it a better experience, let us know, because of course I was only there for 8 hours and I'd love to hear a different perspective if you have one. If I had more time, I would have paid to go in and I would have gone up in the Eiffel Tower because they kind of force you to do that now if you want to get close to it. So next time I will go in and then I'll report back to see if it's worth it. So we took some pictures. You know, when you're right outside that glass wall, you can't really get a great picture of the Eiffel Tower because it's so close. So what you'll want to do is cross the street. Directly across the street is the Seine River. This is a beautiful thing to do, is just walk along the Seine River. It's a beautiful pathway. There's trees lining it. There's a gorgeous river, of course. And then right across there, you can see the Eiffel Tower. So there's a lot of really good places that you can sit on the wall, get a great picture of yourself against the Eiffel Tower, and just really take in the views of this beautiful structure. I love it. It's such a beautiful structure. I'm so glad that I got to see it. Yes, only 8 hours here, but I did get to see the Eiffel Tower, and that's really what I wanted to do.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
Have you ever spotted McDonald's hot, crispy fries right as they're being scooped into the carton? And time just stands still. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast Gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast Gems.
We hadn't eaten anything here in Paris, so before we needed to set off to the train station, we decided to stop at Les Georges V, which is a restaurant very close by to where we were walking on the Seine River. And it was good. I mean, there's a few restaurants right here in this area. They were all bustling and busy. And I love how the outdoor patio chairs, they always point them out towards the street. I saw that in the south of France too. And it's just like, it's meant for people watching and sitting and enjoying and slow traveling. So we had lunch here. I got another glass of champagne, carbonara pasta. Zeina got this massive, monstrous burger. And the food was good. Drinks were good. And they were so good, in fact, that we lost track of time. And we realized, oh my gosh, our train is going to be leaving very soon. We have to go. So we tried to get an Uber. The Uber wasn't finding a driver. It must have been a busy time. So we were freaking out. We found a cab and we got in that cab, rushed back to the hotel where Zeina had been staying and where we had our luggage, got that super fast, had that taxi take us to the train station, which Zeina had thought was right down the street, but she got the train stations mixed up. It was Gare de Lyon. She was actually near Gare de Nord. So really pay attention to the train station and stay near Gare de Lyon if you plan to leave Paris like we did. We were rushing. We were right at the buzzer and we would have made it. I truly think we would have been on the train like maybe 30 seconds before it took off, except for the fact that when we rushed into the train station, the trains are all upstairs. We did not know this. The trains are all upstairs. The metro is downstairs. But as soon as we rushed in, the trains are kind of blocked by signage and restaurants. We saw one sign that said Hall A this way, and it was pointing downstairs. We knew we needed to be in Hall A. So we rushed downstairs and then we were trying to scan our ticket to get through the gate and it wasn't working. And then the time had passed and we were so defeated. We were like, what the hell? We go back upstairs and then that's when we see our train area and our train leaving. So just one last tip for you guys. I recommend you get to the train station at least 20 minutes before your train is scheduled to leave. The trains in Paris and France are on the point. Exactly when they say they're going to leave, they are going to leave. And so give yourself at least 20 minutes to get in there, find where you need to be. They have some like convenience type things that you can get a croissant or a coffee or whatnot so that you have that on the train ride. The train from Paris to Nice was, I think, 3 to 4 hours. So it's quite a long time and you're going to want some snacks. So maybe even get there 30 minutes early, go to the bathroom. Well, you don't really need to do that because there is a bathroom on the train. Then once the train arrives, it'll be there probably 10 minutes before. On your ticket, you have a specific cart that you're going to be on. For these long distance train rides, you have a specific seat assigned and a cart. So you'll want to find which cart you're going to be on, give yourself time to get settled in. So squatties, arrive 30 minutes before your scheduled train departure and plan for traffic in Paris. Don't mess up like we did. There's a ton of other trains, so we ended up getting another one, not to Nice, but to Marseille. And if you want to hear more about that fun excursion, tune into the next episode where we talk about my 3 days in the south of France. Thank you so much for tuning in to Just the Tip. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on all the socials at Travel Squad Podcast. And have fun traveling this weekend.